Hi everyone, John Doyle from OptixEQ, and I want to show you some handicapping techniques using the new interface, how to use it, and I'm going to take a look at races 4 and 5 from Saratoga on Wednesday, July the 17th. So let's start with race 4. These races drive me crazy. They're just tantalizing. Non-winners to a lifetime, very cheap races. People tend to stay away from them. I'm going to dive in because I'm just a little bit weary of the favorites here. You get the 5 and the 8 are the favorites. When you look at the plot, they look like they stand out on standard, but when you look at surface distance, it's a different story. So kind of a mixed bag there. That's number one. Number two is when you go over to the table and you see that we have speed, plot, and class. What is that? That's relative speed, plot, and class of the horses in the race. Are they relative to one another? Good, bad, or indifferent? And like you have average and different variants of average, and then you got different averages of below and above, whatever. In the case of the 5 and the 8, they're the only two horses. Well, they're not the only two horses, but there are two horses that are below on class. Now, why would I want to be taking short price on horses that are below in class at this level when you consider it's a non-winners to a lifetime? Don't want to do that. So I'm already going to try to take a shot against them just based on that alone. So what do I have here? I have a plot that to me on standard, the one looks like he has a pace advantage. On the surface and distance, the 6 looks like he really got a pace advantage, okay? And he looks very good on the plot. So I want to evaluate those two horses. Anytime you have horses that are going to try to maybe run the field off their feet, you can get the horses that are chasing them really tuckered out. And you can see somebody coming from the back and picking up the pieces. If you look at the surface distance plot, I think the 4 can be that horse. You see the 7 probably has the equal kind of square, but more of a presser type. The 4 is a legitimate closer. I could see him just kind of being loping at the back and then making one run. That's a possibility. 7 furlong race. Let's look at it. I want to look at the 3 horses that I talked about, the 1, 6, and the 4. So let's go to the grid. Going to start with the 1, Dashing Bella. This horse had a lot of chances, but he's run some good races. You can see a lot of light and dark green. That means this horse has been running within today's fig range. Now that's not. You notice the race's fig range. It's not relative to that fig range. It's relative to today's fig range. All this green and light green, red, and all the rest. So what that means is light green means they're in range. Dark means well above range. Same thing with the red, just the other thing, right? Light red means below, dark red, very below. Okay, this horse has had a lot of chances, but let's go back to the maiden win, how this horse won. You notice this horse won on the lead. So I think they're going to kind of apply those tactics again. When this horse kind of runs on the lone lead, oops. When this horse kind of runs on a lone lead, fairly well. Again, a lone lead back in 26th of November of last year, around a good second. So I think the tactic would be to go to lead. That would be my guess, but who knows? This horse was laid off 160 days off last race. Ran okay, just was a little bit intimidating. You notice the keyword scared. Yeah, it was in a little bit tight. Did still run within today's range. Could improve second off the layoff. You can see the alert here, 2LO, second start after the 45 plus day layoff. Usually horses improve and that kind of thing. So this horse improved his trip grade over the last race. Looks like maybe he's going to be on the improve. So could run better than that 72. It's just a matter, can this horse get to the lead and hold it? Now, her problem was going to be the number 6, Pebble Lane, because I think they're going to employ those same tactics. And this horse, when you see how she won her debut at 40,000 at the 40,000 level, now was state bred though. As a 2-year-old, ran a big 77 though. Was out in the lead. Really, this space means she really kind of stretched the field. That means like they try to run the field off their feet. They caught back up to him and she dug in. See the grit. Love that keyword. Love that keyword. That shows fight. And so she won that race. Like maybe she can run today's race. If they employ those same tactics, she's proven that she can win doing it that way. Now, she has been off a 466-day layoff prior to this race. She did not run that well, but it was against much better and it was on grass. She gets switched back to the surface she likes. She gets the drop. I think they're going to employ those same tactics. She's worth a shot. She's a big 12-1 in the morning line. She can do it. Now, if those horses, like I said, start to come back to the field late, I think Jay's Love's the most likely to maybe pick some horses up. You can see how this horse won her maiden race. She got Flow, which she probably going to get tomorrow on Wednesday. So that's positive. She came back then right after the win. They tried to just stick her in the stakes way over her head. She just had major trouble at the start. And then they kind of tried to come back really quick, and she just was dull in that return effort. Then she was a little time off, not much, 21 days, and she ran a pretty good race. She was against the flow. Like I said, I think she'll be getting better flow today. And notice the key extended keyword. She made a move into the fastest part of the race at a mile. So she ran into the toughest part of the race, and then kind of backed up a little bit. She's going to get shorter today, like the keyword suggests. She's already in range in terms of optic fig range speed figures. So upside is very, very possible with her. She's another contender at another juicy 8-1. So for me, I'm playing against the horses, the favorites, the 5 and the 8, and I'm looking at the 1, 4, 6 as potential plays. Again, looking at the board, but those are all potential plays in race 4 at Saratoga. Okay, so I'm going to switch to race 5, handle this one a little bit differently. I'm going to show you some of the new features we have. I'm going to just show this race only. And what does that do for me? Well, it shows the alerts, which we talked about, or kind of form cycle alerts. But I'm going to scroll over and notice that the program number and the name of the horse get locked in, so you don't lose that. I'm going to scroll all the way to the right here. And this is the relative speed plant class. I want to try to understand, before I get into the form, I just want to understand the capabilities of these horses. So if I sort, and I'm now sort the low, the highest, now highest to lowest, and that's what I want. I want to see which numbers kind of come out on top under these categories. And you can see the only horses that are above are the 9 and the 2 in terms of speed and also in class. So these horses kind of stand out from a speed class standpoint. So one of these horses, if I scroll a little bit over, is 8-5 in the morning line, 1, 7-2. Can I make the case of the 7-2? Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing I noticed in plot, they're both, a little bit above average, but the 8's got a pretty good plot and the 3 does. But the 3's below on speed, and the 8's pretty good. So 8 is another potential contender, and I think so is the 1 in this case. So I want to look at those as potential exotic underneath horses, but I want to try to make a stand against the favorite if possible, and go with the the second choice, and maybe use those others in exotics. Okay, let me just go to the number 9 first. Now, number 9 is going to be the favorite, and really this horse just ran 2 really good races. Okay, so better than looked effort in a Keeneland allowance race, then went into a grade 1 and ran second. I guess the question I have is, if she's doing this well, why this race? But maybe it's just a prep for the next race, maybe a stakes level race, or is it confidence thing? 51 days layoff or whatever. So I don't know. I really don't know. The one thing I do know is that Walden at this current meet, I really look for trends, short-term trends, especially when new meets start, hot and cold. And his four horses he's had haven't run a lick. So that, just something to look for. So I'm just saying, yeah, I can understand that this horse being the favorite, but I think the 3 is just the 2, I'm sorry, it's just as good. And if not, could have a little bit more upside. The 2 ran in these grade 1, New York, grade 1, the New York, and did run well over this track. Okay, but that was coming off a 96-day layoff. And notice the tactic, anchored down toward the back. So I don't like the tactics employed there. She's coming back now. She's going to get her win rider back with her, Ortiz. I just think that you can see she's run 94, 93 in the past. And let's just go to Saratoga. I mean, I know she didn't run well in this race, but she's showed B pluses both times she's run at Saratoga previously. So she handles the track. Our speed figures right in range, close to the other one. They're both close in terms of speed figures. I just would take the shot. I like the inside draw better. Maybe she can save ground, maybe make one run, that maybe gets the jump on let's look at the plot. maybe she gets the jump on the 9. Not quite sure. They're kind of similar styles that way. But I just think from a price perspective, I want to take a shot with her versus the favorite. Okay. And then just looking at some of the other horses, the 8 looks good on the plot. I'm going to go back to the grid. It's a horse that's kind of comfortable, right here in this position. Seems to like to finish in the money. So maybe a good exacta horse using the 2 or a try horse. And then the 1 looks like another horse that, is capable, just kind of likes to win. And seems like from a plot perspective, maybe the best of the speed horses. So maybe using that horse in a trifecta. But for me, I'm going to take my shot would be your best over the 9 in this scenario. Just think that they're close enough where I think I'm going to get so much more value with the second choice versus the favorite. Okay. That's it for me. Check us out at OptixEQ.com or on Twitter or X at OptixEQ. Thanks for listening.